Well, I'm telling you, I don't guess Freddie Mercury's got anything on Butler, does he?
Good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, June the 26th, presented by Mercury. We're going to spend some time today with our good friend Josh Herron at Logan Martin right before he hits the water at Coosa River Team Trail there at Logan Martin, and then talk Lay Lake with him as well. We're going to hit up with Tom Mott and his good friend Josh Butler as they talk about their W at Guntersville last week. And then we're going to connect with Tracy Robinson and talk to him about Weiss Lake and Neely Henry. Find out how you might be able to put a few more fish in your boat from these guys. Stay tuned, and we'll be right back with the fishing report. Well, good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, June the 26th, presented by Mercury. Hey, we're going to talk to our resident Neely Henry and Weiss Lake expert, Tracy Robinson, one of our friends and pro staffers here at Bucks Island. Tracy, let's start with Weiss Lake. What do you know about Weiss Lake right now?
Weiss and Neely and most of the Coosa River has been an up and down week this past week. The rain kind of changed everything up there. Alabama Power, anticipating the big rains, did a lot of jacking around with water levels. So they started sucking it dry, anticipating the heavy rains, and impacted the fishing quite a bit. There's still fish to be caught, and actually the bite at Weiss was really good there for a day or two before they started kind of pulling it dry to prepare for the rains. And then once the rains hit, the water started coming back up, and it was hard to get back on them again. But I was catching them really good out kind of the summertime patterns there before all that happened on 6XD, 8XDs, hard places, main river points. So they were biting really good and really good quality there before that happened. But I really never got back on them after that. And I spent the last 2 or 3 days of the week on Neely Henry this past week. So I just didn't figure it back out.
What overall, we know that Alabama Bass Trail was down here this last week, and it took a pretty healthy sack to win. What was the overall bite there at Neely Henry this week?
Leading up to that tournament, the fish were really eating good on some of the shallower stuff. Neely Henry fishes a little shallower than Weiss does. We were catching a lot of the stuff still in the river grass, but it had to be more of the clumped up stuff. When they dropped that water right before the ABT tournament, it moved the fish a little bit, and that was really the key for that tournament, was refinding those fish. I anticipated that the bite kind of moved out a little bit, but what I kept hearing, at the weigh-in, and some of the people that I know that did really well in that tournament, that they still did really good up in that 10 inches of water, almost no water, fishing a frog and just super, super shallow, which I got away from a little bit during the tournament, and I didn't have as good a tournament as I wanted to have because of that. I wish I would have just kind of stuck to my original areas, even with almost no water there. It sounds like they still caught those fish in that kind of water.
Well, it sounds to me like right now, maybe at Weiss, you want to be a little bit offshore still with a little bit of muddy water. You might find some up in the grass, but it sounds like Neely Henry, you want to be flipping and frogging and maybe still throwing your swim jig. It sounds kind of like what you're
That's what I'm hearing too. And then last night, Wednesday evening tournaments they had, it took 3 fish for 13 pounds last night on Neely. So well over a 4-pound average just with 3 fish on Neely. So they're definitely eating and good quality. And I know those guys were fishing banks. Everybody was last night. I saw them down there. So it's a shallow bite still.
Well, Tracy, as always, we appreciate everything, and we'll talk to you soon. Good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, June the 26th, presented by Mercury. We're going to head on up to our good friend Tom Mott up there at Lake Guntersville, because I know he's always swinging up there. Him and St. Jennifer always putting the hurting on him. And his buddy Butler with his new mustache. We love that, too. Anyway, Tom, tell me a little bit about what's going on up there in Mustache Land.
Well, I'm telling you, I don't guess Freddie Mercury's got anything on Butler, does he?
Nope. They look like twins.
I'll tell you, last week we talked a little bit about fishing grass and those kind of things. And, we've been catching a lot of fish. I mean, it's kind of been in and out. You have one day where you catch a whole lot of fish and not much quality. Then you catch some good quality and not as many fish. But, we really had to bounce around quite a bit last week just to find the good bite. So, we garnered a few out of that grass, out of the 8 to 10 foot grass. I mean, and that's typical Guntersville fishing right now this time of year. And of course, the ledges, I mean, they're just very, very busy out there. There's a lot of fish. There's a lot of fish that are with holes in their mouth. So, you got to change bait selection, do something a little bit, a little freaky. Drop shots have been really playing a big part. Certainly football head jigs, big swim baits, those kind of things always seem to produce. But, it is definitely getting to that time where we're going to start putting on that 1.5 ounce weight, 1.25 ounces, and going up there and just punching those thick mats, or either punching some real deep stuff. When that hydrilla really gets up where you can find the hydrilla, you want to, in that 10, 12 foot range, if you can flip that stuff, that's where some big fish are hiding out right now.
Well, and I know you're being a little bit modest because you and little Mr. Mercury look alike up there. You guys got to raise a trophy this last week and sing your own version of We Are the Champions. 23 pounds, you guys took home the W. What tournament was that again?
John C. Woodall Memorial Tournament. It was a great run little event that we jumped in kind of at the last minute. Some great fishermen in there, and we just were fortunate to, we got a wet tail. It rained all day, but we were very fortunate. And like I said, we were able to make those jigs work in the grass, and we also fished some offshore stuff where we were able to get those football heads to really to show out, and fortunate to pick up a 6 pound big fish and win the tournament. So anytime you do that, it's a great day.
Well, man, as always, we appreciate it. Congratulations on the win, and we will talk to you again next week.
Thanks so much, Dano. We'll talk at you then.
Good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, June the 26th, presented by Mercury. Hey, we're going to head on down to Logan Martin and Lay Lake with our good friend Josh Herod from Reaction Innovations. Josh, I know you're going to be spending some time today on Logan Martin fishing the Coosa River Team Trail down there. What can guys expect if they're going to be out there today competing against you?
Man, I think fish are out. That's not my deal, but I think primarily most of your fish are out. It's going to be a shaky head, Nico rig. All the upside down spinning rod things you want to do are pretty much going to play this weekend. And that's pretty much what I expected.
What about with the recent rains and the water going through the system? It seems like the lakes have kind of come up a little bit. There's been a lot of current going through the system. Are we going to see any fish that are going to follow up into the shallow water around some of that target up there?
Yeah, maybe, but I don't think they'll be there long. They'll kind of probably come up with a watercolor, but by this weekend it should level out. And you're going to have a lot of fish in that 6 to 8 foot deal. And you're primarily, I think most of your fish are going to be in that 12 to 15, 12 to 16. So we're moving towards just straight summertime deals, and water influxes and all. You might get a day or two of those fish that are in that kind of hang and live in that 6 to 8 foot deal a lot of the year. They'll come up shallow with it, but they're going to go right back.
So we're talking football jigs, Carolina rigs, shaky heads, maybe a Texas rig, big worm, some of those kinds of things out there.
Yeah, man, those spotted bass are really weird about eating kind of off the wall stuff too. So like that Nico rig really plays. Like a free rig. A lot of guys may not have heard of that. That'll be something really cool to play with this summer if you haven't. Anything these fish like to sit up off the bottom for whatever reason. Even with the dirtier water, they like to sit 3 and 4 foot off the bottom a lot. That's why crankbaits and Carolina rigs have always worked so well on the Coosa River. But that whole free rig, Nico rig style deal kind of puts a bait in a water column where they normally don't see it. So,
and I'm assuming Lay Lake, we're looking at some of the same type of stuff, maybe out there on the edges of the creek channels around some of that timber.
Yeah, Lay Lake's going to be like timber edges, brush. You can still catch fish shallow at Lay all year long. It's going to be a grind. I'm not saying it's going to be great offshore, but it's a lot easier to catch 10 bass off one place offshore than it is out of one weed bed.
Well, man, we appreciate it as always, and we look forward to seeing you this weekend, and we will talk to you soon.
Thanks.
Well, that'll do it for our Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, June the 26th, presented by Mercury. Thanks to the guys. As always, we appreciate all your insights and your willingness to share. We hope that helps you guys catch a few more fish. It certainly helps us. Don't forget to like and subscribe to all our social media channels, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. That way you'll be notified whenever we go live with fishing reports, what's new at the loft, or anything new coming out of Bucks Island. And once again, thank you everybody for spending this time with us. It means the world, and we appreciate it. We'll talk to you again next week.